Hello and welcome to Linguistic Series, a podcast about linguistic courses taken at the most peaceful university in Nigeria, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. In each episode, we bring you the highlights of topics in linguistic courses taken at the Department of Linguistics, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. This is with a view to complementing the physical contact teaching and recovering teaching and learning losses between and among lecturers and students of the university. I am your host, Isa Muhammad. In today's episode, we are going to highlight important facts about one of the language families in Africa, and that is Afro-Asiatic. Afro-Asiatic languages are spoken by more than 400 million people. The languages and those who speak them are found in Northern Africa, that is in the countries like Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, and Sudan. They are also found in the Horn of Africa, that is in countries like Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia, and in Southwest Asia, that is in countries like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Israel, Iraq, Qatar, and Oman. Other Southwest Asian countries where Afro-Asiatic languages and their speakers are found are Syria, Azerbaijan, Jordan, Yemen, Lebanon, Palestine, Kuwait, Bahrain, Georgia, and Armenia. With the exception of the extinct Sumerian, Afro-Asiatic has the longest documented history of any language phylum in the world. Egyptian was recorded as early as 3200 BCE, while the documentation of Semitic languages goes back to 2500 BCE. Contradictory hypotheses claim the African or Asian origin of Afro-Asiatic. In terms of its classification and distribution, Afro-Asiatic is divided into 6 branches. In terms of its classification and distribution, Afro-Asiatic is divided into 6 branches: Semitic, Berber, Egyptian, Cushitic, Chadic, and Omotic. Semitic and Berber are quite closely related, and both are more distantly connected to Cushitic. Omotic is the most controversial member of Afro-Asiatic. Semitic languages include Arabic, Hebrew, and several Ethiopic languages, namely Amharic, Tigray, and Tigrinya. Berber languages include several dialects or closely related languages spoken in North Africa. Egyptian includes only the extinct Ancient Egyptian. Chadic encompasses many languages between 140 to 195 spoken around Lake Chad in Western Africa, of which the largest is Hausa, predominantly spoken in Nigeria. Cushitic is a highly diverse group of languages spoken in the Horn of Africa, like Oromo, Somali, and Beja as the major representatives. Omotic languages include nearly 30 languages spoken in Western Ethiopia, of which Wolaita and Gamo are the largest languages. Talking about speakers and major Afro-Asiatic languages, I would say that about 470 million people worldwide speak an Afro-Asiatic language, of which 310 million are Arabic speakers. Semitic languages are spoken by 351 million people, Cushitic ones by 55 million people, Chadic languages by 40 million, Berber by 18 million, and Omotic by 6 million speakers. My respected listeners, I will now mention some of the major Afro-Asiatic languages spoken and give you a tentative figure of their speakers and sub-branch they belong to. For example, you have Arabic language, which is a Semitic, language. it is spoken by about 310 million speakers. Hausa, spoken by about 35 million speakers. And it is a Chadic language. Oromo, with 27.5 million as a Cushitic. Amharic, with 24 million speakers, which is a Semitic language. Somali, with 16.2 million speakers, which is a Cushitic language. Tigrinya, 7.7. It is a Semitic language. Kabyle, with 7 million speakers. It is a Berber language. Hebrew, with about 6 million speakers. It's another Semitic language. Sidamo, with 3 million, a Cushitic language. Tamazight, 3 million speakers, a Berber language. Walaita, with 1.8 million speakers, it's Omotic. Then Afar, with 1.5 million speakers, which is a Cushitic language. You have Beja, 1.3 million, a Cushitic. Hadia, 1.3 million, another Cushitic language. You have Gamo, with 1.2 million speakers as Omotic language. You have Tigray, with 1.2 million speakers, a Semitic language. You have Celti, with 1.1 million speakers, which is a Semitic language. And finally, you have Gedio, with 1 million speakers as a Cushitic language. Let us now be more attentive as I'm going to discuss very briefly about the shared linguistic features of Afro-Asiatic languages. Phonologically, Afro-Asiatic languages have been found to have the vocalic system which was originally limited to the 3 vowels A, I, and U, as found in Semitic, Berber, and Egyptian subphyla. In contrast, Chadic, Cushitic, and Omotic have full vowel systems. Similarly, most Afro-Asiatic languages include a third series of consonants called emphatics, alongside the voiced and voiceless series of emphatics. For example, the emphatics may be pharyngealized consonants as in Arabic, and Berber or glottalized like Kha, and so on and so forth. The latter may be ejectives as in Ethiopian and Cushitic, or implosives as in Chadic. Furthermore, a striking characteristic is the lack of the consonant pa in many Afro-Asiatic languages. Again, the languages under Chadic, Cushitic, and Omotic employ tones to make lexical, morphological, or syntactical distinctions. As Proto-Afro-Asiatic was probably non-tonal, they must have acquired tones through contact with Nilo-Saharan or Niger-Congo languages. Morphologically, Semitic, Berber, and Egyptian have bi- and tri-consonantal lexical roots to which vowels add grammatical information. For this reason, their languages do not write their vowels, a feature that makes linguistic comparisons and reconstructions very difficult. Chadic, Cushitic, and Omotic languages, on the contrary, have roots of an equal length which include a vowel. A rather rudimentary case system consisting of no more than 2 or 3 cases is prevalent. A number of languages mark the nominative case, leaving the object case unmarked, that is absolutive. Chadic has no case marking, even though this fact is controversial. Afro-Asiatic languages distinguish masculine and feminine genders in nouns and pronouns, except in the first person. The feminine is marked in many languages with the suffix ta. The formation of plurals is usually complex, involving vowel changes in the stem and or a suffix marker accompanied sometimes by reduplication. Verb agreement with the subject in person, gender, and number may be marked by prefixes and suffixes in Semitic and Berber, or just by suffixes in Egyptian and many Cushitic languages. By means of affixes, markers, and reduplications, derivative verbs may be formed in order to express intensive, causative, reflexive, or reciprocal qualities. In terms of syntax, Afro-Asiatic languages exhibit common similarities. These include the word order, which is variable in Afro-Asiatic, being more an areal feature than a genetic one. For example, the Eastern languages in Ethiopian and those of the Horn of Africa are usually object-verb, while other languages like Berber, Egyptian, Chadic, and non-Ethiopian Semitic are verb-object. With these brief important highlights about Afro-Asiatic language phyla, I would stop here until next episode, when we will be talking about another language phyla, Niger Congo. Until then, I am your host, Isa Muhammad.